Welcome back to Hashes and Numbers. I'm Thomas. I'm here with my co-host.
Justin Kim.
And today we're going to be breaking down the previews for the South, the AFC South and the NFC South. Just a little scheduling thing. So today we're going to be working on the AFC and NFC South. Next week we're not going to have an episode. Both of us are, in travels. Justin's working on a little, piece for his writing, being in New York. We'll be back the week after that on the 31st with the last divisions, which is the AFC and NFC West, and that's when we start our two-week season schedule, which would be our season predictions, which would be our award predictions, our playoff picks, and our Super Bowl picks on the 7th of September, right before the season starts, and then later that week we're gonna have the rest of week one previews, and it's gonna be like last year. We're gonna have the recaps on Mondays and then a preview later during the week. Um, but with that being said, we'll get started with the South. Before we start that, any news from the first preseason week? Any teams you looked at and were like, that guy's nice or that team's looking nice this year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Jacoby Lane against the Philadelphia Eagles. That guy had like five catch for like 60 yards in like just the first quarter. So
Hmm.
yeah, he's a baller and yeah.
Yeah, couple things I noticed. The first one was Jeremiah Love. He looks nice. He runs hard. He does take a lot of contact, which does, scare me. He's already dealing with the sprained ankle, so, hopefully he can stay healthy with that physical running style. But I can definitely see why he was drafted number three overall. Like that guy, he looks physical. And
hmm
then this Steelers receiver, I gotta look at his name real quick.
Jeremy Bernard.
No, he's from Iowa, a little return guy. Caden Wetjen. That guy, I think he had a 74-yard touchdown, but he's a returner. He's a return specialist. But if he's in this offense, Aaron Rodgers has one of the best arms in football. If they can get him, one or two deep targets a game, this guy could be nice. He's white guy from Iowa, the Cooper DeJean type from the receiver side. Like
Yeah.
this guy might be something. I don't think he's gonna be, a household name yet, but every once in a while you're gonna see, watching the games when the Steelers are playing your favorite team, it's just gonna be, oh, Caden Wetjen with a 50-yard touchdown. That's his only catch of the game or something like that, only target of the game. That guy's nice. And then, a couple starters played. I'm not really buying into preseason. A lot of teams playing their third and fourth stringers. So I'm not gonna say, this team's, doomed or not doomed because of a preseason game. A lot of
hmm
unders this week for betting. I know we do a lot of betting on this podcast. A lot of unders for preseason, and that's kind of a little thing. Both teams not using the full playbooks, right? Both, on the offense, you kind of just simple runs, simple passing concepts. A lot of unders. We had a tie this week. Um, but yeah, just good week of preseason. I'm glad football's back. Every team got to play. Got to see some, rookies, some college guys. I'm a big college fan, so the rookies, I remember this guy from this team, right? It was fun this week.
Yeah, let me add a little bit more. Ty Simpson, he was the first rounder for the LA Rams.
Yeah.
He looked very, very good. And he went 21 out of 25, 190 yards, two touchdowns. I mean, I think the Rams, found a gym with the pick, but yeah.
Hmm. Um, yeah. And then contract news, Devin Witherspoon got extended. Now the highest paid cornerback in football. And then, there's rumors coming out Christian Gonzalez is gonna be the next guy. So congrats to Spoon. As a Seahawks fan, I'm glad we have him for, the next 5 years. Um, anything else, any other news on your teams?
I mean, yeah, shout out to Chicago, I
Hmm.
mean, 34 to 10, first game back, the Bears, winning feeling feels good.
Yeah. I don't know if we talked about this, but your secondary is a little weak there.
I mean, hey, I mean, I know it's a preseason game, but like the Chicago D line, that D line looks good as like preseason game, putting pressure every single snap. I mean, if you could do that, you know, in the
Mhm.
regular season, you have a problem there.
Um, what are your thoughts on your secondary before we move on?
Secondary, I mean, it wasn't terrible. I mean,
No, I don't mean like for the game.
I
I
don't
mean
really
like for
know.
the season.
Oh,
Are
for the
you
season,
are you worried? I've seen Bears Twitter be a little worried about their secondary. Thieneman's a rookie, and then you got a couple guys who are, journeyman type of guys.
Yeah, let me go to the depth chart. I mean, of course, my favorite addition of the summer was Kobe Bryant from Seattle Seahawks. He was gonna be a baller, but he's
Out for the
out
season.
till no, he's out till week 10, no?
I saw 4 to 6 months. I'll
That
double
would
check that one more time, but 4 months from now puts you in like December.
yeah, and I mean Devin Bush at linebacker, TJ Edwards, it's not gonna be terrible, but it's not gonna be better than last year too. So hopefully it's just a bend but not break like last year.
Yeah, it's 4 to 6 months. So I guess if they make the Super Bowl, like that's the end of the 6 month range. But uh, like 4 months from now would put you middle of December, right?
So wouldn't
Uh,
that be like week? What week would that be?
like 15,
Oh
right?
my.
And that's the 4 month spot. If we go like hitting 5 months, 5 months would put you in the middle of January, which would be like the first round of the playoffs. And then
Yeah.
6 months would be damn near the Super Bowl. So I guess it's not season ending, but it's damn near season ending. You're not going to have him for most of the season, right?
hmm Yeah,
Um,
and Taylor Gordon as well. So I don't know.
what's the new timeline on him?
I don't know, but I think it was undecided first
Okay, so
injury.
he's just still like indefinitely.
Yeah, which is bad for Kyler Gordon, especially because this guy missed, playing time every single season due to injury.
Yeah. Um, yeah, timeline's still unknown. And then last thing, Jackson Dart got to stop taking these hits. I mean, he went into injury tent again, first week of preseason. Not a great stuff for Giants fans. Um,
Yeah.
but let's get into the divisions. The AFC South we'll start with, and the team with the longest odds is the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, new head coach, new offense, offensive play caller Brian Dable, new head coach Robert Saleh. A lot of new changes for second year quarterback Cam Ward. So, what are your thoughts on like the actual player personnel changes?
Yeah, I mean, like Key Moose, I just said them getting Wendell Robinson was very huge
Hmm.
for Cam Ward, and then John Franklin Myers from the Denver Broncos. He's a pretty good player, and I think he'll be a difference maker on the defense line of side. And they had like good cornerback signing, and
Hmm.
then good solid draft, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So their over under right now is 6.5. What are your views on that? Do you see them getting 7 wins in this first year of the new regime?
I mean, I lean towards 6 to 8 wins, but I said 7 out of 10, or 7 wins and 10 losses. So I'd probably go
Seven,
over,
10.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be
Um,
close though.
I'm looking at their schedule right now. Um, I can see like this is a team where like they do have a relatively easy schedule, right? They play in a division where they can get a few wins. They play the Browns, right? They play Commanders is gonna be good this year. They play the Raiders, right? Um, I'm leaning under the 6.5. I still think they're a year away, but this is definitely a team I put a lot of stock into. They made good moves. They spent a lot of money in the offseason. So would I be surprised if they make a big jump? No, but I just think 6.5 is a little too rich right now. I think I can place 6 wins. I don't know if I can place more than 6 wins. Um, and then
I see.
speaking
What's
of the division, or go
what's
ahead.
like your floor for the what's your floor for the Titans, you think?
My floor.
Yeah, like
Mm,
one base.
I'd say okay. I think the Jets are a win for sure, right?
Yeah.
I
hmm
think they can beat the Browns.
Yeah, I think I'll be close, but yeah.
Within the division, I think they can get 2 divisional wins. I don't know who they're going to be against, but I can definitely see them taking 2 divisional wins, right?
I think yeah,
And
reasonable.
then I'd say the Raiders is like a floor. I'd say that 5 wins is a pretty good floor for me.
Okay.
The iffy ones, the Giants. I'm high on the Giants, but I can see the Giants. They can maybe take a game as the Giants. They can probably take the Commanders as well. Maybe win a
Yeah.
third divisional game. So that puts you at what? 8 wins. So,
Mhm.
this is just like a very rough guideline. I think 5 wins is that floor. I think they can get up to 8, maybe 9 wins, have a winning season. That's not out of the realm of possibilities. That's what I see them at.
I see. Yeah.
And like I said, 2 or 3 divisional wins. What do you have them at for divisional?
Um,
Right now it's
yeah,
two
I
two and a
think
half to the line, but it's juiced heavily toward the under. So the odds makers think they're gonna go under that 2.5. What do you think?
yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be under. I think they either get swept by the I think they get swept by the Texans just because Texans have a very good defense, and I think they'll play against the Colts and the Jaguars ideally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we'll kind of go through it like throughout the division, but just to start off, this division, I think it's very competitive, right? I think this is both the divisions we have today are pretty competitive, but I just don't
yeah,
think like the ceiling is very high, right? We're gonna talk about the West in 2 weeks. That's a division where, yeah, you have the Cardinals, the NFC West, I guess. You have the
yeah,
Cardinals, right, and the Raiders in the AFC West. And then you have the top three where like you can tell me if you told me, the Seahawks, the Rams, the Niners, the Chiefs, the Chargers, even the Broncos, right? If you told me one of those teams is in the Super Bowl, winning the
yeah,
Super Bowl, right? I'm not gonna say, damn, like I couldn't see that coming. If you told me the Texans, the Jaguars, the Colts are in the Super Bowl, I would say like, that's a pretty big shocker, right? Even the same thing for the NFC West or NFC
yeah.
South. But within the division, like if you
So
told
yeah,
me, oh, Jacksonville won the division, or Houston won the division, even the Colts won the division, or even the Titans. I could see the Titans, surprising people winning the division. I'd be like, yeah, that's
hmm,
a surprise maybe, but like I wouldn't be shocked. Like, damn, how did that happen, right? And that's what I think with like this division is
yeah,
hard to predict divisional wins, right? If the Titans get hot, right, they can take on the Texans. That Texans, we'll talk about Texans later, but that Texans team doesn't, put as much fear in my heart. The Jaguars, same thing. The Colts, right? I mean, they started off hot, they collapsed. Within this division, I can definitely see like a lot of different things happening and it being super balanced. They just don't have like the top end talent, in my opinion.
yeah,
Yeah. So with
yeah.
that being said,
That's how I also have like my record. All of these division are like
hmm
pretty close.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that being said, I'm gonna lean toward the under here, but 2 or 3 division wins is very attainable. Even 4, in my opinion, is attainable. We'll move on to the next team, which is the Indianapolis Colts. They're at plus 380 to win the division. They kept a lot of stuff the same, but they're getting Daniel Jones coming off injury. Um, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I said recently, Daniel Jones and Alec Pierce was a very huge like offseason part, and
hmm
then they added some solid cornerback like Cam Taylor, which also helps the defensive side.
Yeah. Um, I was gonna say, oh yeah, last year they started off really hot. I think they were the last undefeated team remaining. And then they dealt with injuries to Daniel Jones, broken leg and then the torn Achilles, and then Jonathan Taylor wasn't as
Yeah,
effective, right? And this team kind of just fell apart. So they traded for Sauce Gardner, and then he got hurt. So this team was, had like a tale of 2 seasons. And like my biggest question on them is like, which one's the real one, right? Can they get back to being that like super high powered team? Or are they going to be, that second half team that lost, like 8 out of 9, I think. Um, they're over under right now. Um, real quick, let me take a look. They're over under right now. They have them at 7.5. So what are your thoughts on that one?
yeah. I mean, 7.5. I went 8 and 9. Like
Okay.
that's like I guess, which is kind of close. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have the over here. I think I counted 8 wins where I have them pretty solid. Um, yeah, this Colts team doesn't have that tough of a schedule. I'm looking at the schedule right now. They have a couple, top tier teams, but um, they played or this entire division plays the NFC East, which does give you a little window for winnable games. Um,
Hmm.
and as for their division, they have the Colts division is 2.5 as well. This one's juiced toward the over. What are your thoughts on in division?
How much did they win last year?
In division?
Yeah.
Let me take a look. They last year, they went 2-4 in the division. But I will say this is also with Tennessee going 0-6, which means that the Colts went 0-4 against the Texans and the Jaguars last year.
Dang. I want to lean towards the over. I mean, I think I could see the road where Colts could sweep the Titans, and I could
Hmm
see the road where, Colts splits against Titans,
hmm
Jaguars, and the Texans. Yeah. So I probably lean towards the over.
Yeah, that's probably where I'd lean as well. I think they can definitely take at least one. They can take one against the Titans, and then I think they can split the other two teams as well. So they split the division, if not
Mhm.
going more. It is used toward the over though, so odds makers think that they can go over. Um, move on to the next team. We got uh the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are actually second in odds to win the division. Um, they're over under right now, or what is their offseason? How do you like their offseason?
I mean, I think the Jaguars had like one of the most boring offseason, probably.
Hmm
It's because, their offseason was pretty quiet, and I don't think like these additions make that much difference for the upcoming year.
hmm So their over under is 8.5. What are your thoughts on the on that number there?
Yeah, I went over on 8.5.
Hmm Um, in my opinion, I think this is a team where I'm very confused about like what they have the Jags as, right? Because their offense is pretty good, and like last year the defense was not bad either, right? Um, so I'm kind of confused on why
Yeah.
they have them as this second ranked team in the division, right? Did the Texans win the division last year? No, the Jaguars won the division last year. So I guess odds makers don't think they're gonna be the favorites to start that, and I think I have the over as well. I think the Jaguars can go back to being a 10-win team. They had 13 last year. I think 10 is a pretty good floor for them. Um, yeah, I don't know why eight and
Yeah.
a half is this number. I would lean, if I would go in, I'd probably go 9.5 with the number there. I don't know. And then within
Yeah.
division, they have the line at 3.5 there. So what are your thoughts um on that line?
On the on division,
Yeah.
I'd probably go under to be honest. I don't
Under?
Yeah.
Hmm
I'd probably
You'd have
lean
to
towards the
sweep the
under.
team. You'd have to sweep a team here at least. And I don't know if I can see them sweeping a team.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm going under as well.
I got a question for you. So right now the
Yeah.
odds are the exact same for the Titans to go under 2.5 and the Jaguars to go under 3.5. Which one do you have more confidence in?
Oh. Wait. So the Titans going under?
Titans going under 2.5 division wins or the Jaguars going under 3.5? Because we both said, or I'll say this. I also have them going under 3.5 division wins, right? So that begs the question, right? They're both the exact same priced odds. Which one are you more confident in? Titans going under the 2.5 or the Jaguars going under the 3.5?
I take the Jaguars going under 2.5.
Jaguars under 3.5, you mean?
Yeah, oh, yeah, 3.5. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. See, this is like the thing. This division's so balanced, right? To where like
Yeah.
I don't know, like if they sweep the Titans, it's basically just gonna be who do you think, what do you think happens? Do you think the Jaguars sweep the Titans or do you think the Titans split against the Jaguars? Right? Because if the Titans
Mm-hmm.
split against the Jaguars, I think three and a half, three that like three division wins is very, very possible. But if they get swept by the Jaguars, I think they're gonna go under that 2.5. I don't think they can split or they can like sweep either the other two teams, right?
Yeah.
So like what do you think
Actually,
happens?
looking at the Jaguars last season, they looked pretty good, like
Hmm
against divisional records.
Well,
Yeah.
both the Jaguars and the Texans went 5-1, right? But you have to remember the Colts in the back half, they were playing Phillip Rivers and Riley Leonard as their quarterback. So like let
Oh
me
yeah.
see,
So like
let me actually like pull up this season last year. Um if
the
I'm not
Jaguars
mistaken,
almost, huh?
go ahead. Go ahead.
The Jaguars almost lost to the the Colts, like in the
Yeah.
back.
So
Yeah.
like I'm trying to see. So the Colts, they played the Titans before, right? But we remember, so they lost to the Jaguars before during the game in which Daniel Jones got hurt, right?
Mhm.
After that, they played the Jaguars again. They played the Texans one more time, and then um or sorry, they played the Jaguars and Texans one more time. So the Texans beat the Colts with Daniel Jones, but that was with Daniel Jones' broken leg. And then the Jaguars beat them when Daniel Jones tore his Achilles. So like
Yeah.
I don't know if I can put enough I can't say that like for sure this Colts team's gonna get swept again by both those teams.
Hmm.
So back to the question, I think do you see the Titans splitting against the Jaguars more, or do you think the Jaguars can sweep the Titans? What do you think has a better chance of happening, basically?
I checked last year the Jaguars versus Titans. This does not look good.
But
So like,
that was with like the fired head coach Titans. Like they have Saleh as the head coach. They have Daboll as the play caller now.
I
It's
mean,
really what you think. I mean, I can see either way. Like, what would you go with?
I can see both way too, but like, I do I trust the Titans more or the Jag? I probably go with the Jaguars to be honest.
Yeah, Jaguar sweeping.
Yeah, just because they're a better team.
hmm Then, I mean, with that being the case, I almost think betting the 140 as the over might be the smarter move. Like, I'm with you. I see the like both sides going under, right?
Yeah.
But I'm trying to like mathematically calculate this and figure out like what are the ways the Jaguars go under if they sweep the Titans, right?
Hmm.
That means they have to split against one of the other teams and then get swept by the other team, right? Because if they split the other two teams, that's two more wins, and that's four wins with the sweep of the Titans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's just my thing. Like, if I'm betting, I might bet whichever one you see happening more, the split with the Titans and the Jaguars, or the Jaguars sweeping the Titans. Whichever one you see more, since they have the exact same odds, I would bet the other one, like the over on the other one. That's just my little 2 cents.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
then we'll get to the last team, the team that's favored to win the division. Um, One of the bigger favorites. Like I'm looking at this, in the AFC, the Bills and the Ravens are minus money to win the division, right? But in the NFC,
Yeah.
only the Rams are minus money and have better odds than the Texans to win the division. So the odds makers are really high on the Texans this year. What are your thoughts on their offseason?
I mean, yeah, they had a lot of online re-signing,
hmm
and they had a lot of defense resign, and they added Reed Blankenship with a good draft class as well on the defensive side.
Yeah,
So defense just got stronger, you know.
yeah. The
A
number
little
is
strong.
9.5 on this team as well. It's very juiced to the over though.
I went over. I
Same.
had 10-7.
So who do you have winning this division?
I had the Texans winning the divisions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going over as well for the Texans, and I guess I'll loop this in. They also have 3.5 as their line for division wins, and like I'm on the same page as like the Jaguars here. Like then the okay, first off, over 3.5 is at minus 200, which is the highest I've seen for any team like in terms of division line, right? I'm almost
Yeah.
thinking like, why is it at 3.5, right? Because you can't put it at 4.5. 4.5, everyone's gonna take the under, but 3.5, is it such a lock that it's gonna go over there?
I
Do they sweep the
mean,
Titans?
I could I could see a world where, Texans sweep either Titans or the Colts or
hmm
like potentially both. It's so like
That's the
well bound.
thing. Like, am I too high on the Texans? And like, I think the Texans win the division as well. But like, this 3.5 number being minus 200 is very, I don't know. I can see them sweeping the Titans, but I don't know.
What's the under at
Plus
for the
155.
plus 150?
Yeah.
I'll probably take the under, no?
Right, but like, is that just throwing away? Like, is that throwing away like the actual like logics of it, right? Like, how did they get under 3.5? They split against everybody, or they get swept by the Jaguars?
Oh, they either have to, I just realized that either have to split against everybody or just sweep.
They'd have to sweep somebody and get swept, and then split. Like this is exactly the same thing I was looking at when I looked at these lines, right? I'm like, oh, this under is really juicy, right? Like the over is minus 200, under is plus 155. Like, let me put some on the under, right? And then I started
Yeah,
thinking, like, okay, how do we get to what am I rooting for? How do I get to the under, right? And it's like,
yeah,
are they splitting against everybody? Is that how we get to the under? Well, I don't see that, right?
yeah.
So then are they sweeping the Titans or Colts and then getting swept by the Jaguars? I don't see that either. Like that defense is just too good to get swept by the Jaguars, in my opinion, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So like, what is the logistical way to get under? Like, am I rooting for an injury? Like, I don't want to bank my bets on an injury. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I
And like,
mean,
my thing is like, who on that team too? Like knock on wood, but like, if CJ gets hurt, like Davis Mills can definitely win you a game, especially with that defense.
yeah, yeah,
Like, I don't know. I want to take the under, but I just don't see a lane which they can get the under. So I guess I have to go with the over, even at the worst odds.
I'm on the same page with you. I just
Yeah.
don't see. Yeah,
So we both talked about it. You say you see the Texans winning the division here.
yeah.
hmm I'm on the same page as you. So just a little recap for what we have so far. You said you had the Bills winning the division.
Hmm?
You have the Bills winning the East, AFC East,
Yeah.
and then you have the Ravens winning the AFC North, the Bengals.
I think I hold on. Let me check real quick. The AC North, right?
hmm
I had the this team was this team. The Bengals. I had the Bengals winning it.
hmm Okay, so we're pretty aligned so far in the AFC. We'll now go to the NFC South, where the team with the worst odds at plus 400. I'm looking right now. That's the lowest, or I guess like the team with the best chance at the last place spot. So plus 400 right now is the Falcons to win the division. That is better than any other last place team to win the division. So obviously the odds makers know
Yeah.
this division could go anywhere. Um, What are your thoughts on their offseason? They have a new head coach from Kevin Stefanski. Um, some players they brought in. Talk about them.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they brought in Tua, which is like probably the huge part, and
hmm
then the extensions were the players
hmm
like Drake London. And
Bijan.
then personally, I like the yeah, and him. I personally like the draft class for them. They drafted, Avion Terrell, cornerback, then Zachary Bench, wide receiver, who I think is gonna play a huge part for this offense as well.
hmm
So I think it's just a good draft class. Yeah.
Yeah. So their over under is 7.5. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm smacking the under for this.
Under. Okay, so you're not high on this team at all.
No.
Okay. Um, I'm not high on the Falcons either. I don't know. I don't like Tua in this offense. I just think this offense isn't like a speed offense in my opinion. Where like, with the Dolphins is a lot of catch and run, right? In this
Yeah.
in this Falcons one, it's almost like a throw it up type of thing. Like Kyle Pitts is one of the most athletic tight ends. He's never been like the catch and run tight end, the rack tight
Yeah.
ends. Drake London, again, one of the bigger receivers from USC. You gotta throw like some 50-50 balls and like hope that not hope, but like, trust that he'll come down with it. I just don't know
Yeah.
if Tua is like that. Um, and then Bijan's Bijan. I think Bijan's gonna have a great year, but I'm not high in this Falcons team. I'm leaning toward the under as well. Um, and then within the division there, they got the over under for the division for the Falcons to be at 2.5. I'm also leaning toward the under there.
Two. Yeah, I'll probably lean towards the under as well. But talking about the schedule, I think the Falcons have a very hard schedule.
hmm
Yeah.
Do they play the North?
They played the NFC North, yeah.
The North, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'm
they
leaning
play
towards the under. And the under is plus money, so the odds maker think they're gonna go over 2.5 division wins. I'm not sold on it.
how much wins do you have here?
How many wins in the division or total?
Total.
Total, I think I don't want to be too like negative on them, but like I think 4 wins is like what I really like realistically I'm calculating. Like
Yeah.
I'm looking at like the guaranteed wins, right? And like
Hmm.
maybe the Browns. The Browns are favored right now in
Yeah.
that game. It's in Cleveland, they're favored. So I don't know how you get to,
Mhm.
how you get to that number there. I mean, I'm looking at their schedule right now and like they're underdogs in damn near every game.
I mean, yeah, they have like a hard stretch, Packers, Saints, the Baltimore, Chicago, San Fran, and then Tampa, I guess, Cincinnati, KC, Minnesota, and Detroit.
Yeah, I
They
just
could
don't I
potentially
don't
lose all
know. I
those teams.
mean, this team could be a 4-win team. I'm hammering the under there.
Yeah, yeah.
In Atlanta. I might even go
Sure.
down to like the 6.5 number there just to get some better money on that.
Yeah, I see that too.
Within division, do you think they get 3 division wins?
No, I think they're getting swept by one team at least and
I think they
splitting.
get swept by 2 teams. And I will speak on this next team, since it is actually the next team we're gonna be talking about. Oh, actually, no, sorry. No, it's not. The next team we're gonna talk about is the Carolina Panthers at plus 310. They are the team that won the division last year. Um,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on their offseason? They spent a little bit of money in the offseason.
I mean, yeah, this the Panthers is also a team with a lot of all lineman moves. And then defensively, I really like all the signings. They brought in Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd, huge, names in the offseason, this offseason. And then, yeah.
Hmm. Their line's also at 7.5. I'm also leaning toward the under here. Mostly because I see another team in this division to take a big step forward. Um, yeah, I don't know. The Panthers schedule is very similar to the Falcons schedule, except they play the first place teams, which means they play the Seahawks and they play um the Eagles. So like I don't know. This team and their schedule is like much harder than the Falcons. And if I'm not high on the Falcons winning that many games, I'm not very high on the Panthers winning that many games either.
Yeah, I have them under as well.
I'm gonna read out the stretch for you, and you tell me how many wins you see in this stretch, okay?
The Panthers?
Yeah,
Hold on, let me pull it up.
this
Okay.
is the Panthers starting in week 4, okay?
Okay. Okay.
They get the Lions, Eagles,
Loss.
they,
Loss.
the Bucks, okay? Packers
Huh? I I think they win this one.
against the
No
Bucks or the
BS, but I
Packers?
think they win this one.
Against the Packers?
The Packers, the Packers.
That's the one they're
Yeah, I think they
like
pull up
that's the one they're the
upset.
underdog the
That's their
most. The Eagles they're minus 6.5, oh, they're plus 6.5. The
actually.
Packers are plus 7 right now. Both games are on the road as well, just to let you know.
I think
So, they
yeah,
get the
I take the
Broncos.
Panthers. Loss.
And then that's the little stretch I was gonna bring up. They go the Lions, Eagles, Bucks, Packers, Broncos. Like that's like
I
potentially an
think
0
they
and
won
5
one.
stretch.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean the Bucks is the 50-50. They're, plus 1.5 right now on that spot. But I just don't see I can't get to 7, or I guess can't get to 8 wins there, so I'm taking the under there.
Hmm.
And then that brings me to the division, which is also 2.5. Again, juice toward the over. So,
I probably take the over.
you think they, how do you think they get to 3 wins? Do you think they split against everybody, or do you think they sweep somebody?
I could see a world where the Panthers sweep the Falcons.
Okay, I'm
Like
leaning
that's
toward the under here
like how
too.
low I'm.
I'm less confident on this under as the Falcons under, but I'm also going to lean toward the under, mostly because of this team we're going to talk about next, which is the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints at plus 250, sorry, 270 to win the division. What are your thoughts on their offseason?
Yeah, I mean they signed ETN from the Jaguars, and then signed players like Caden Ellis and drafted players like Jordan Tyson, which I think plays is gonna play a huge factor in this offense.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's my big thing. I think this offense got so much better, and they're gonna have a full like offseason of Tyler Shuck, knowing he's gonna be the guy. Right? Last year, they started with Spencer Rattler. They were like
Yeah.
having a QB competition. Tyler Shuck last year, you gotta remember, he kind of balled out toward the end of the year. And I just think a full offseason, second year
Yeah.
under Kellen Moore, they bring in Jordan Tyson, who is already injured and he has injury issues, but he could be one of the best guys. They sign Olave to a long-term extension. They bring in ETN or HN um, on some money, right? This team could be one of the like surprise teams in the NFL. And I think in a division that's so open like this, I think this is the one team I'm putting my chips in for this division. I'm very high on the Saints this year. Um, a lot of positive
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah. Same here.
Like the Panthers are already dealing with injuries. They got guys, I think they've had two guys already out for the year, right? The Falcons having injuries too. The Bucks, right? Vita Vea wants to be traded. Baker Mayfield's having contract disputes. Nothing's coming out of the Saints negative, right? Nobody's, unhappy. Everybody's, positive vibes. And I think that matters, right? When you got injuries in the locker room, guys, missing out, guys wanting to be traded, I think that like is really tough in the locker room. And this Saints team, they got better, and it's hard to say, understand what they have. So I'm going with the over here, the over 7.5.
Yeah. I mean, let's bring this back to last year. The Panthers, starting from week 10, they
Hmm.
won. They won like 5 games and lost 3 games. So they kept. I feel like they kept a lot of players, which the energy will bring to this season, like what you
Hmm.
said. And what's the over and under? You said.
7.5.
Yeah, I'll probably take the over as well.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
think, and especially with the Saints, I'm looking at the division last year. Um, the Saints finished last in the division, so they get the last place teams in the West and the East, right? Which is the Giants. The Giants I'm pretty high on as well, but you get to play the Cardinals instead of right
Yeah.
the Falcons got to play the they got to play the Niners, the Bucks got to play the Rams, and then the Panthers got to play the Seahawks. The Saints get the Cardinals. That's an extra win in there that I
Yeah.
don't think the other teams have, right? And then in the other division that they
Hmm.
play, let me pull it up real quick. I think they get the Raiders as well because the other teams they play the AFC
Yeah,
West.
they have the Raiders. Yeah.
They get the
Hmm.
Raiders. The other teams, they get the Chiefs, which, should be better. The Chargers and the Broncos, who are both playoff teams, right? I think the Saints schedule lines up
Yeah.
perfectly for them to take a big jump this year. I am hammering this over, as well as the division 2.5. I think I'm taking the over there as well.
Over. Same here.
Hmm. And then we'll get to the last team. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're once plus 170 to win the division. What are your thoughts on their offseason?
I mean, yeah, they had a pretty good offseason defensively. They brought in like Christian Roseboom, Enzaloni, and Al Muhammad, and a solid running back, Kenneth Gainwell, to help the
Hmm.
depth. I
Yeah.
mean, they lost Mike Evans in the offseason, which is like their superstar legend type player.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm reading this wrong. They play the South, their division that they get like the extra game against is the AFC North. But like that goes back to what I was saying about like the Saints, they get the Browns versus the other teams getting the Bengals, Steelers, and Ravens. So either way, like my point
Mhm.
stands. The division still has to play the AFC West, but getting the Browns instead of like the Bucks having to play the Ravens, that's my thing. Just like I think. Or no, sorry, I had that backwards. I'm bugging. They play the AFC North, and then the team that they play extra is the AFC West. So I was right the first time. The Saints get the Raiders, while like the Bucks got to play the who do they play? They play the Chargers. So um I'm not as high on this Bucks team. I still think they can be a playoff team. Their over/under is 8.5. I'm also going to lean toward the over here. I think this Bucks team is talented. It's just going to be, are they bought in? Is Vita Vea gonna play for this team? Is Baker Mayfield gonna play for this team? That's just my biggest issue. The vibes here in the Bucks. But other than that, I still think they have the talent for it. Emeka's gonna take a big step with Mike Evans gone. Godwin's a veteran presence, and their defense is solid.
Yeah, I mean, I went over. I got 7 and 10.
Hmm. 7-10? You have them going 7-10?
Yeah, 7-10. Yeah.
Okay, let's go game by game then.
Okay, let's go game for game
Okay,
before.
Bengals.
I hold on. Let me pull up the Bengals. I probably go with the L, just because
Okay,
high offense. Bengals.
Browns.
See, I think it's close. I went with the window.
Okay, they're 5.5 point favorites, but either way, Vikings.
Oh, win.
Okay, Packers.
No, no, no. Lost to the Vikings. Lost to the Vikings. Win against the Packers. I flipped it around. My bad.
I have it flipped. The Packers are very heavy favorites against the Bucks. But either way, that's two wins there.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
I think they lose. This is a prime time at Dallas.
Okay.
I mean,
What
yeah.
about the Steelers?
I go with the win here. I think I'll be
Okay.
close.
How many division wins do you think you're gonna get?
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about division. I think they get. Hold up. The division was with. Okay, they beat Panthers once, Saints once, like 3-3. I say
Three.
three.
Okay, so that's six wins right now with division and the top of the schedule. What the Bears lost.
Yeah, loss.
Lions lost.
Yeah, Lions lost,
Okay. Chargers lost.
and then yeah, loss over there.
Ravens lost.
Yeah, these are just too hard for the Buccaneers, in my opinion.
Damn, the Rams. Okay, wow. I did not
Yeah,
realize how hard of a schedule they had.
yeah, they have a hard schedule.
I don't know if okay, that 8.5 number might be a little pricey, but I think they can get to 9 wins. I
Yeah.
think they can win four. I'm gonna say I'm taking the over for the division. I think they can sweep the Falcons and then split against the other two. Um,
Mhm.
I think I'll take four division wins to be exact, actually. I don't think they go over
Yeah,
that, but I don't think they go under that. And then there's a
yeah.
couple games in there where I see maybe some wins, but yeah, I guess 9 wins is where I put it, but I'm less confident going game by game with them.
Yeah, I mean their schedule's way too hard.
I did
That's
not
why.
realize that. Yeah, yeah, I forget the Rams finished second in the division, so like a lot of these second place teams got to play the Rams. Um,
Yeah.
but that wraps it up. Who do you have winning the division?
I have the Saints winning the division. I think they take a
Okay.
huge jump. Yeah.
So right now, we'll recap the other divisions as well. The North, you have the Bears, right?
Yeah, I have the North. Or I have the Bears for the North. Yeah.
Okay. And then with the North, I went with the Lions. And then with the East, you went with the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles. Yeah.
And then I have the
Repeat.
Cowboys. So we are divided there in the East and the North for the NFC, but other than that, we're pretty much similar. Anything else you want to get into before we have our little, 2-week break?
Um, Not really. Just hopefully, there's less injury because
Mm-hmm.
Brees Hall, he got injured today. From what I saw, non-contact. So
Looking like a groin
non-contacts
injury.
are always bad injury. Yeah.
Yeah, initial reports on the groin. So we'll tune into that one. And then so quarterback competition. I just want to get into that before we finish the episode. So we know that Kyler Murray's won the Vikings one, right?
Yeah.
In
Hmm.
Vegas, I think we're leaning toward Kirk Cousins winning that one,
Hmm.
right? So in the South, we talked about the Falcons. I think we're leaning towards Tua winning that one.
Yeah.
So really the only competition we have left right now is Cleveland,
I
right?
think it'll be close to this. Yeah.
Is there any other division or other teams, sorry, that there's quarterback competitions? I don't think so, right?
NFL. Let me check. Uh, the Jet. Actually, the Jets are clear with Geno, right?
I think Gino's gonna be the quarterback for the Jets.
Dolphins, ice the East, North.
Yeah, the four main ones I see are
Yeah,
the
I think
Browns,
that's it.
Raiders, Vikings.
Yeah, I think that's about it. And
Yeah,
then,
we mentioned last week I think
yeah,
about Shitter and like what are the pathways? After one game, I think we have a leader in the clubhouse right now. Deshaun played significantly better than the other two, so I think that's the one. I think Deshaun's what, you think Shador played better than Deshaun?
Well, I mean, see, I think the Bears were able to put more pressure on Shador Sanders. Like
Yeah,
defense,
exactly.
like
That's
I
kind of
don't
my
know.
point. That's kind of my point. Like Watson went 11 for 15, 126 yards, and he took one sack. Shador didn't take any sacks, right? But he went 6 for 11,
He
79
threw,
yards, and an interception.
I mean, that interception counts as a second, in my opinion. He was getting sacked. He just gave that
Yeah,
one away. But
you got to protect the ball though.
yeah,
And then Gabriel 5 for 8 with an interception and two sacks. So I think Gabriel's clearly the third place guy right now. I think going off one game right now, Shooter, or not, I think Deshaun's leader in the clubhouse. Shooter's he's gonna get start for game two, but I think he's got to prove something in game two. Whereas Deshaun Watson, he can play normal, and I think he'll still be able to be a leader in the clubhouse there.
yeah, for sure.
Any other storylines looking into preseason week two?
Not really, but hopefully Caleb Williams at least gets to play like a series or two,
Who?
and Caleb Williams
Oh,
and any
Caleb
pre.
Williams.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So that'll do it for this week's episode. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks for the last division, and then we'll get the season
yeah.
started. Peace.
Peace.